I recently played a wipe in my private base and realized that I need a new base for myself. Having many bunkers in the base is, of course, cool, but I also want the base to be as comfortable as possible for survival. With these thoughts, I set out to design a new base. I made the starter base from a 1x1 with an airlock, so it can be built even in the most densely populated area. Even some YouTubers approve of this. Then I added a full-fledged open core to it, which will be convenient to use throughout the entire wipe, and when you get turrets, it will be something incredible. In fact, this base is 2x1, but you wouldn't know it from the outside. And just look at the shooting floor I came up with. It doesn't even require multi-TCs, and the entire base can be fully built from a single TC. Even bunkers will be included. And building this entire base requires less than one box of resources. And now I'll show you the inside. Naturally, I prepared in advance, and I'm showing you that this base can be built even on uneven surfaces. As you have already understood, this base has a compound and only 2 entrances. Each entrance also serves as your combat spawn. It will be very difficult to door camp you when you exit. Even the oil refinery fit inside. And now look, even if you build in an area with a significant elevation change, this ramp will level out all these moments. Nothing will hinder you from using the shooting positions. And if any intruder ends up on this ramp, 4 turrets will be watching them. 2 of them are on the shooting floor, on the 3rd floor. If we go further, we will first see many shotgun traps, as well as large furnaces blocking the way. Behind these doors, you have an external loot room located behind a vending machine. It will take at least 4 rockets to reach this vending machine. There are 4 such vending machines on the compound, and each loot room is under the vigilant protection of a turret. Also, note these shotgun traps. They are installed on branches, allowing them to shoot from behind the barrier. And I read all your comments on YouTube that not everyone needs large furnaces in survival, so in this base, I decided to make it so that these furnaces can be placed at the very last moment, only if needed. Here you will find an invisible shotgun trap located behind square barricades. If you are looking for the most OP shotgun trap setup in this game, this is it. No naked running through here will be able to stay on their feet. The base is built on a 2-sided symmetry principle. I've already shown you one side. Here, note that the terrain has already changed significantly, but you can still comfortably use all the shooting positions located here. And on this side, everything is also controlled by 4 turrets. Even though the whole base is symmetrical, there is only one entrance to the base itself. By the way, near it, there is the same mini funnel wall as on the other side. I decided to implement the ascent through a furnace. This entrance is controlled by another turret. When you go up to the 2nd floor, you enter the OPENCORE. Here, you have 9 large boxes, easily accessible, as well as a turret that shoots through a ramp. I do not recommend using the 2nd floor for spawning. It's better to do this on the floor above. This is where your main combat spawn is located. You can keep everything for online defense in the vending machines. As soon as you open the double door, this turret will immediately start aiming at you. Above it is a medium battery for the electric furnaces, and if a raider ends up here, they will be killed by the turret inside the open core. Actually, I think I'm talking too much about these turrets. There are only 12 of them, but they're all in the most important places. Thanks to this shooting floor, there are no blind spots under the base. From here, you can control both entrances to the compound, and if you get raided from the side of the large furnaces, as you can see, the view there is also quite good. And if you don't have paid stone skins, that's not a problem. Even if your roofs are made of default stone, it won't interfere with this shooting floor. You won't even be able to fall out from here. For some, this is good. For others, not so much. Also, there are large gaps in this shooting floor that I closed with square barricades. If you don't have the blueprint for these stone barricades or just don't like them, you can install a double door instead. The effect will be the same. And you won't be able to fall out from here either. I used barricades because it's something unusual. From here, it's most convenient to control not only the funnel wall, but also the approaches from the side of the large furnaces, if you place them, of course. This part of the shooting floor that we're in right now is called the pixel shooting floor. It will be impossible to kill you here from sniper towers, while you will be able to safely shoot those running on the ground. And since the base is fully symmetrical, the exits to the roof are located on the sides of the base. I recently survived in my base and really missed having a farm. In the end, I managed to set it up on my roof, and it was exactly what I needed. Also, specifically in this base, I implemented peeks through solar solar panels. You'll have a total of 4 of these. Behind the mixing tables, I placed 2 large boxes so you don't have to go downstairs to drop off some resources. You'll also have 2 such combat spawns in the topmost part of the base. Through this vending machine, you can not only sell items but also store everything for online defense. And right above these vending machines are 2 stability bunkers. They open very simply. You just need to place a half wall and a square roof on top of it. After these actions, the bunker will open. In each of these bunkers, you will have 2 large and 2 small boxes. I strongly recommend distributing resources among them and not storing all the most valuable items in one place. To close this bunker, you just need to put everything back in place. This is probably one of the simplest bunkers in the game. When we build it, you will see for yourself. And in general, I don't know about you, but during survival, I never store valuable resources inside my base. If someone wants to raid, they will raid anyway. If you want to know how I hide my valuable items overnight, let me know in the comments. If there's a lot of interest, I'll definitely make a video about it. And now we have reached the starter 1x1 core, and the upkeep for the whole base is in front of you. I intentionally didn't show you where the large battery for the turrets is located in this base. I recommend placing it in any external loot room in the compound. The most important advantage is the additional protection for it. And the second important point is that you can place it in any of the 4 locations, and the raiders won't know in advance where it is. But you always know where to find my Patreon. Today I released the 13th private base there, and it is suitable for duo and trio players. This base includes a convenient loot room with 12 large boxes, many different shooting floors, a hidden TC in an unusual location, and 3 bunkers that I can't show you here. For just $7.50 you'll get access to this base as well as all the other content I published there, which includes at least 13 private bases for any gameplay style. The link to my Patreon will be in the description. Subscribe, you won't regret it. You know that I always recommend laying out the footprint of the future base. However, this time we won't be doing that, but I'll explain this in more detail when we start building the shooting floor. The starter base will be a 1x1 HQM with everything else made of sheet metal. I will upgrade everything immediately to the final version. You can start by building everything out of stone. In the end, your starter base will look like this. You will have a level 1 workbench, 1 box, and 2 sleeping bags. Instead of 1 sleeping bag, if needed, you can place a furnace. The sleeping bag will then have to be moved to the airlock, but you can actually postpone this because the next step will require this furnace to get to the second floor. Here, I recommend following the exact sequence I use in the video. I've built this base several times in my survival, and I'm showing you the most convenient expansion option. Once you make the exit to the second floor, you will use a twig roof to climb up. If you're worried about it being broken, you can upgrade it to wood, but then you'll have to destroy it later. At this stage, you might start getting door camped, so if you have the resources, make sure to place another door. And now, pay close attention as we're going to build the second floor. For now, I want to express my immense gratitude to you, my viewers, for watching, liking, and commenting on my videos. I want to remind you not to forget to subscribe as I release 4 videos each month, 2 on YouTube and 2 on Patreon, and you need to subscribe so you don't miss them. I also want to extend a special thanks to all my paid subscribers on Patreon. Thanks to you, I can continue doing what I do. Thank you. I also want to remind you that in my Discord, I am still reviewing the bases you send me for feedback. As soon as you send me something interesting, I might make a video about it. At this point, your base should look like this from the outside. However, the single box on the first floor is probably already full. So now we start building the open core. Note that there will be a loot room that is half a floor down. Don't forget this, otherwise your open core won't be as spacious. I recommend upgrading all auxiliary elements to wood to save resources. Everything else should preferably be upgraded to sheet metal. Well, except for the frames for the double doors, those can be left as stone. This ramp should ideally be upgraded to sheet metal right away. And don't forget to place a double door to prevent being door camped from above. Once everything is set up, you can place 5 large boxes like this. But even in 5 boxes, space will eventually run out. So, where the descent to the first floor is, we add another loot room and place 2 more boxes here. There should be 3 electric furnaces downstairs, but you probably won't have them yet, so just install another box for now. For clarity, I'll remove the double doors so you can see how spacious your loot room is. From the outside, it should look like this. As soon as resources become available, we start building the exit to the 3rd floor. Here, make sure to have a window frame on one side side. In the future, there will be vending machines, but for now, just a wooden shutter. Consider this your initial shooting floor. Then, we exit through the double doors and install 2 more frames. In the center, we set up a placeholder for a future turret. I recommend doing everything exactly like this to immediately close off the ramp from intruders. Once you do this, it will be completely enclosed on all sides. As soon as you get a medium battery and an auto turret, you can install them. It probably won't happen that soon, but I think you get the idea. From the outside, everything should look like this. But we already have the 3rd floor ready and there are still no buffer walls. I think this needs to be fixed. We add triangular buffer walls on each side. Eventually, all these walls should be metal. For now, the entrance will be through a double door. I think using a furnace here at the beginning won't be very convenient, so you can use a mailbox. Then just build exactly as we did on the other side. For now, you'll have another loot room with 3 large boxes here. These are the most vulnerable boxes in the base, so I recommend storing all sorts of junk in them, like bows, crossbows, cloth clothing, and so on. Though I don't know, maybe you're still roaming with crossbows, but I think you get the point. All the junk goes in these boxes. From the outside, your base should look like this. Don't forget to eventually upgrade these roofs. I'm improving to HQM. I can't get rid of the building smoke. I've tried several times, but it doesn't work. Now we need to seal off the remaining sides with buffer walls. And we start from here. All the walls in this base can be reached later. So if you don't have the resources but want to fortify the base already, then just upgrade everything to stone. And after this stage, you can slowly start building the shooting floor. We start from the side where one triangle protrudes. Now we need to place several triangular foundations. It's very important to do exactly as I do because otherwise it won't work. Note that not all these foundations are needed. Essentially, we only need these 3. We upgrade the side foundations to sheet metal and the central one to stone. The shooting floor will be supported by the metal foundations, so everything we place here should also be upgraded to metal later. Note that this entire structure is not connected to the main base, so you either need to build a multi-TC or connect everything this way. Now we go to the 3rd floor and start installing the ceilings. The first 2 ceilings are placed through the wall. Don't worry, it will work the same way in survival. Then we go outside and place the ceilings as I do in the video. Next, in this spot, we need to place a half wall and then a window frame on top of it. However, note that the window frame doesn't have enough stability yet. To fix the stability, we need to add it. The most important part is this frame. Once you place it, the window frame will also be stable. The base is symmetrical, so we do the same on both sides. To make it convenient for shooting while sitting, don't forget to place a wooden ramp in the center. This shooting floor is very important for the base during an online raid, so it should ideally be upgraded to sheet metal. Note that for now, these gaps can be closed this way. Just place a double door and open it. So essentially, you've just completed one entire side. Now we do exactly the same on the other side of the base. If you have any questions about this base or any other base from my channel, you can always reach out to my Discord. My team or I will definitely help you. The link to my Discord channel will be in the pinned comment. Now we're working on the part of the shooting floor that is located opposite the entrance. This is where your unlootable loot rooms with vending machines will eventually be. Note that there should not be a triangular foundation in the center. Just do it as I show. Next, we go up to the 3rd floor and start building it. Here you'll have one of my favorite shooting floors with triangular roofs. I often integrate it into my bases because I use it frequently when I play, as it has almost no drawbacks. You can even place a turret in the center, which is great. Note that I covered everything with square ceilings on top, not triangular ones. This is to ensure there are no gaps on the roof. For upgrades, improve the frames and roofs to stone and everything else to sheet metal. The exit is through a double door. Once the roof exit is ready, you've essentially completed one side. Since our base is fully symmetrical, we do exactly the same on the other side. I'll speed this up. If anything is unclear, rewind a bit and watch it again. Now, directly under the place where we built the shooting floor, we add another buffer wall. This buffer wall is done now, not later or earlier. If you try to place it later, you won't be able to, and if you place it earlier, you won't be able to complete the shooting floor. Yes, such strange moments happen. Place the doors as you prefer, either inward or outward. It doesn't really matter here. Now I'll take you to the roof of our base and start showing you how to build up here. In this spot, you'll have a small loot room with 2 large boxes. To make these boxes convenient to use, place them on a ramp. The ramp can be upgraded to wood. Directly above this spot, you'll have a combat spawn with a vending machine. If you don't have a vending machine yet, you can place a regular solo door instead. In this combat spawn, you can place either 2 beds or 1 bed and 1 large box. But that's not all the cool features we need to build. As you remember, I also had a bunker here, which we will now build. To do this, we climb onto our combat spawn and place 3 walls like this and install 2 large boxes on the sides. Now we need to check how it all works. Note that the bunker can only be closed from here. You won't be able to do it from other places. To summarize, you place the roof, upgrade it to metal, and that's it. The bunker is sealed. To open it, just place another square roof like this. And, as you can see, it worked for me. So it will work for you too. Since our base is symmetrical, we do exactly the same on the other side. So remember, right? You'll have 2 such bunkers on the roof. Now let's create the mini funnel wall that I had here. Building a funnel wall won't be difficult, but you will need the blueprint for a square barricade. You can do it without the square barricade, of course, but then the shotgun traps will be visible. You need to place the barricade from this angle, as I'm doing now. Then take a shotgun trap and place it in the far corner. You can place it either from the bottom or from the top. It depends on the terrain where you build your base. Also, there should be a turret directly above this spot. I don't recommend placing it too far back as it won't shoot well. Place it roughly in the same position as I have now, and logically we do exactly the same on the other side. I won't show everything on this side again. Look, here's our funnel wall. On this side, we'll have an unlootable loot room behind a vending machine, and on the other side, it will be the same. I'll show you one side, and the other sides will be added magically. Since this is our unlootable loot room, we upgrade it completely to sheet metal. Place the boxes as neatly as possible, and if you don't have the vending machine yet, you can just close this loot room with a single door. We'll install the vending machine a bit later. Now we do the same on the other sides. I've sped this up, but you can still see where and what I'm placing. Simply put, on each side of the funnel wall, you'll have 1 loot room. Now look, remember this part of the shooting floor? We also have a vending machine on top here. Here you must build everything exactly as I do in the video. Right now, we are making preparations for future shotgun traps, and in addition to that, you will get a pixel shooting floor after these steps. For base defense, all of this is not really necessary, so I don't recommend wasting extra resources on it. You can simply upgrade everything to wood. I think few people would consider spending time on an eco raid. Also, don't forget to place these triangular roofs. They will cover your pixel positions. There's no point in wasting stone on this either, so upgrade them to wood as well. Now, our task is to build the gatehouse for the exit from the compound. Obviously, there is no compound yet, but still, here you will have an airlock and 4 window frames. You can upgrade the whole thing to stone. It's unlikely that anyone will raid through here because there are many doors and windows. They are more likely to raid through the large furnace, destroying the high walls. Now let's go a bit higher and make preparations for future turrets. I upgrade the outer half walls to stone, but the central half walls I upgrade to wood because they don't provide any defense. They just separate the turrets so that 2 turrets can't be destroyed with 1 HV rocket. And since we've made the preparations for the turrets, let's place those turrets. If you don't have them at this stage, you can place them later. Don't worry. Now, the last thing we need to do is add another pixel position here, but for this, you will definitely need square barricades. Now that everything is ready, let's take a look at how it all looks from the inside. Yes, this is very good. You just need to place these horizontal embrasures. I've said it many times, but I'll say it again. The base is symmetrical and we have the same setup on the other side. If at this stage, for example, you don't have square barricades, you can place them later. The same goes for windows. If you don't have glass windows, you can temporarily place wooden shutters. Now I'll show you how to place the walls nicely. I placed 3 triangular foundations to have a reference point. Now I use the tip of the triangular foundation as a guide to place the wall. I highly recommend practicing placing these walls on a creative server, because it might turn out ugly in survival, and I want you to have beautiful bases. If you do everything correctly, you'll be able to place a large furnace in this spot without any problems. Also, if you don't want to attract unnecessary attention, you can place an oil refinery instead. It will also completely block this passage, but I think you get the idea. We do the same on the other sides. Furnaces on all sides, as I mentioned earlier, are optional, but in any case, whether you have furnaces or not, you need to protect yourself from unwanted visitors on your compound. So now I'll show you how to place metal barricades. It's the same on all sides. I'll just show you 2 sides. Remember I told you that this wooden ramp would level out all the elevation changes? As you can see, I wasn't lying. Right behind this shooting position, you should place 2 shotgun traps. To make the shotgun trap shoot from behind the edge, it needs to be placed on a black branch or any other branch. And here's how to install the oil refinery. At this stage, I think you'll definitely have the resources for vending machines, so now we'll install one. For this, we remove the door, take the vending machine, and place it so that its blue texture fits into the metal texture. The most important thing is that there should be no gaps on the side of the boxes. If there's a gap on the other side, it's not a big deal. To enhance the protection of this loot room, you need to place a garage door here. But you won't be able to do this while those edges are hanging there. Remove the edges and add the garage door. However, in this case, you'll need to build a multi-TC. But we'll get to that later, don't worry. I also told you that instead of one loot room, I recommend installing a large battery. The rules are basically the same. Install the battery, then place the vending machine, rotate the vending machine, and access to the battery appears, rotate it back, and the access disappears. You can enhance the protection of this battery with a garage door as well. There's no need to upgrade anything else to sheet metal here, so you can leave everything in stone. These unlootable loot rooms can't be broken by splash damage, so don't worry about that. Now let's return to our shooting floor. By the way, there should be a turret in this spot if anyone forgot, but we need to deal with these gaps. If you want, you can place stone barricades. If you don't want to, you can just place double doors. But I still need to tell you something about multi-TCs. But first, I want to extend a special thanks to my first OP subscriber as well as to everyone else who supports me on Patreon. It's thanks to you that I can continue doing what I do. Now, let's get back to the multi-TCs. Please note that this entire structure will decay without these edges. So, if you remove these edges, you will definitely need a multi-TC. Now I'll show you the simplest multi-TC for this base, and the raid cost for it will be 1 rocket. As funny as it sounds. If you need something more serious, you can check out my other videos where I've shown how to build multi-TCs that require 7 or more rockets to raid. And if anyone is interested in how to install wind turbines, they are placed like this.